the Trevor Jackson podcast.
We get ready to switch the topic, though. I got a couple of more conversations I want to bring up, but this one, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. This individual was like a great in Charlotte, North Carolina. Cam Newton. When I first moved here in 2016, he had the city piped up. All the way piped up. The city was lit. He had just took them to the Super Bowl, I think the year before that. And you know what he done in Alabama and Auburn should be celebrated because he was great down there in football. And he is a character. He from Atlanta. So, Atlanta people, they have a lot of culture to them. They have a lot of, character to them. A few people that I know in Atlanta, they are characters. And he's been getting into a lot of things lately. He just went on Johnny Manziel platform and spoke about their history from Auburn to Alabama. He spoke on Jalen Hurts, and it created a beef between him and Gillie Da Kid, which I think that beef is dumb shit also. But it was wrong of him saying what he had to say about Jalen Hurts after Jalen Hurts just recently won the Super Bowl.
No, everybody's going to get mad at this. Cam hating on Jalen Hurts. It's hard for me to grade Jalen Hurts with the talent that he has around him. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. But if we're talking about what they bring to the table holistically, it's hard to judge what Jalen Hurts can do when you're throwing to a guy like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. When you have tight end skill set, you have a dominant defense, the best running back in the game. Download Madden and see how many stars is on the offensive side of Philly. Like you got King Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, those guys, that's cool. But when you're comparing, Lamar Jackson still shows you why he's an elite player. Josh Allen has to play elite in order for them to play. Lamar Jackson has to play at a high level for the Baltimore Ravens, even though that they have a dominant defense. Patrick Mahomes, he got a lot of talent. But boy, oh boy, you can't put no John Doe in Patrick Mahomes and think that they still gonna win the way they win it. I understand that. Jalen Hurts does not have to play elite for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. He has to play good, but he doesn't have to play elite. We're not asking you to win the game. We're just asking you not to lose it. When you ask that question, are we winning because of you, solely because of you, or is it the resources around you? So game changer, game manager, those are the things that you have to ask yourself. And those are the metrics that I'm going off of. It's like, bro, even when the tush push, you got 5 people pushing you, bro. You got a solid group around you, dog. And the man who Jalen Hurts is, bro, I respect him. I take my hat off to him. But just because he's a great guy, that don't mean I can't critique his game.
Cam got a point. Those Eagles beat my 49ers a couple of years ago. And when I seen that team, I don't want to say because it sounds like I'm owning them. I don't own the 49ers. It's just that's a team that I've been supporting since 85 when they beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. I love the 49ers. That's just a squad that I support. But I'm not a fan of nothing. I don't own no team. But, I seen that team and they got a roster around them. They got hell of a receivers. They got a great offensive line. They got a great defensive line. The Kelsey brother just recently retired and it seemed like they didn't lose a step. They got the best running back in football. They got a great coach, a great owner, a great everything. So he has a point. Cam Newton played for the Panthers. This is a team sport. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't even pay. You couldn't even pay for me to want to go to a Panthers game. It's sad to say, me living here too, because I want to see the team win to help the city evolve, to help the city get lit and bring a financial structure here that help the finances grow, help people create more businesses and stuff with their talents. So Cam didn't have a team around him. He had a team that year he went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't have an offensive line. Not like the Eagles. So he has a point, though. But the one thing that I disagree with that Cam said is that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback just because he does have talent around him. One thing that a quarterback has to do to win, the game and win Super Bowls is not make turnovers, decision making, leadership. And that right there, your skill set don't matter if mentally you ain't making mistakes, and you are making good decisions. Let me say that again. Athletically, you don't have to be the greatest if you're making good decisions and you're not making mistakes. That is a skill in itself. That's why the quarterback is the leader. I don't need you to throw 50 touchdowns. I don't need you to run 100 and 200 yards. I need you to not make mistakes and make good decisions. And Jalen Hurts was the best at that last year. That's why he's the Super Bowl winning quarterback, even though he had the talent around him. Now, one thing Cam Newton did in that Super Bowl, he made mistakes. He turned the ball over. He made bad decisions. He wanted to run instead of deciding to throw. This is not speaking bad about you, Cam. You're a champion in college. You're one of the greatest to ever win in college football. But in the pros, they might not have invested in you like they should have. And this is Charlotte. They don't got that type of money like how they do in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, New York, and all of that. If you would have went somewhere as Cam, you probably would have won a Super Bowl. You was a hell of a player. But your decision-making was bad. And that's why you didn't last long in the league, because you was wanting to run instead of throw. You was fumbling the ball instead of holding on to the ball. Your decision-making don't compare to Jalen Hurts. But Cam responded. So Gillie Da Kid, he had addressed that on his platform. I think he just went live on Instagram and started talking about it or whatever. And he addressed Cam Newton, and he was talking about how it's disrespectful. It was a whole bunch of people. Ryan Clark said it's disrespectful to not put Jalen Hurts in the top 10, to even be speaking like that on another black man anyway. It's nothing to even needed to be said. And I know why it was said. Because we're all in this space of creating content. We're all in this space of trying to get views and likes and monetize what we got going on. And by us doing that, you know, people are speaking maliciously of others. People are getting caught up in lawsuits with other individuals because they're speaking negatively to be able to trigger the algorithm to push them to the forefront. Craziness.
So now we talking about the man that said the tight jean wearing, bow tie,
The moment
jersey
that we
wearing,
all been waiting for.
you know?
Hey, good day, Cam Newton. I seen you came at me because I said Jalen Hurts did what you couldn't do. That was win a Super Bowl.
Press pause right there. Let me make this abundantly clear. There will not be no playing with my name. Mm-hmm. There will not be no playing with my career. This is all entertainment here. You did it. Now it's time for me to do it. But what I'm going to do, I'm not going to speak in excessive verbiage or, describing you. I'm just going to speak facts. Keep playing the video and my point will be made.
All in your feelings. Man, shut your tight jean wearing ass up, man. You had on a jersey with a bow tie, you corny ass nigga. Get out of here, nigga. You will never be able to f with Jalen Hurts, nigga. You super goofy, corny ass nigga. Get out of here, nigga.
Okay, right there. I know why you in your feelings, Gillie.
Why you in his feelings, Cam?
Was it the album comment?
That kind of struck a nerve.
Where I'm from, Gillie, we stab and we twist. I don't know how to be the bigger person. Wise words was told to me. They say, when you go low, hell, I go to hell. You dig what I'm saying? And that's where I'm about to go. So let's bring up your actual facts and your actual stats. Gillie, when I'm looking at your rap career, as people will know you to be, they know Cam as a football player, now hot podcaster, content creator. Gillie did not chart any solo singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Philadelphia didn't do no numbers? Dang, that's all right. Former member of Major Figures, all right, bass rap group late 90s and early 2000s. Where was Cam? I was like in middle school. All right, then there was this beef between you and Wheezy Baby, and there's so much to be said here, and we've known you to do a lot of things, but one thing that I ain't never known you to be or do, Gillie, you ain't never been great at nothing. But he has, though.
What?
The only great thing that Gillie does and has done, he's a great mascot.
Oh, man. You know, sometimes I don't even know why I cover these topics of discussion and this content because, you know, speaking maliciously of others and debating others and when you disagree with them about something, though, I don't feel as if like what Gillie Da Kid said was wrong, but him using the language of nigga and you know, saying nigga and you ain't this and you ain't that. He could have just left it with his sports acumen, but talking about his tight pants, talking about he wearing bow ties with a jersey and all of that, that gave Cam Newton the right to be able to respond. You could have just left it at the sports, Gillie, you know. And he came back at Cam after Cam said that and was talking about, you know, he ain't got no Super Bowls and stuff after the Eagles celebrated with him giving him a trophy.
Cam ain't never had one of these. Now I ain't going back and forth with you, nigga. Thank you, Jalen. Appreciate you, Jalen. Love you, Nick. Love you, Nick. Appreciate you, Jalen. Cam Newton never had one of these. I said Cam Newton never got one of these. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Dom. I'm not going back and forth for a line. Jalen do a lot of things wrong, but he...
You know, when I look at that video, is Gillie doing too much, though? Like, when y'all listen to that and hear him speak. Because a fan is an abbreviation for a fanatic. Is he acting like a fanatic? And is it okay to be a fanatic? Y'all help me out because I really ain't a fan of nothing and nobody to where I'm going to be. A fanatic is a person that acts out of character for something that they have no attachment to. You know, you may have lived in the city, but you didn't run the football. You didn't score a touchdown, and you speaking bad about another individual who actually ran the football and scored touchdowns and made it to a Super Bowl. You speaking bad about them to highlight your people. Even though Cam Newton said what he said about Jalen Hurts not being a top 10 player, he is saying he does speak positively about Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts is obviously influenced by Cam Newton because they have the same number 1. So he was influenced by Cam Newton anyway. But, you know, at the end of the day, I want to close this out and I want to know y'all thoughts also in the comment section about this. What do y'all think about this beef in totality, though? And one thing I want to do before I close it out, I want to read Johnny Manziel tweet because Johnny Manziel tweeted Cam Newton. No, he tweeted Gillie Da Kid. I apologize. A white boy. Y'all know who Johnny Manziel is. He was the quarterback who won the Heisman Trophy for Alabama. He was a phenomenal player at Alabama. I ain't even going to cap to you. But when he went to Cleveland, he was trash in the NFL. But he put the tweet out and he had this to say. He said, yo, Gillie, you may be the biggest loser on the planet. Talking like you done anything on a football field. If I see you, just know I'm going to slap the F out of you, trust. Now, one thing that Johnny Manziel got to realize, though, is that, you know, come on, man, you a white guy, man. You talking about slapping niggas, street niggas from the hood at that. And he wasn't talking like he did nothing on the football field. He talking from a fan perspective, even though I really don't want to defend Gillie. Because Gillie spoke some blasphemous things towards Cam. I don't have a dog in the fight. At the end of the day, it's just that I feel like this is just a whole bunch of foolishness. All of these people are podcasters and content creators. Johnny Manziel seems like he put that post out there so he can get into the algorithm because he just recently created his own show. And Cam Newton was the first guest. $1 million worth of game. Gillie Da Kid and Wallow, they doing their thing and they the most established out of these three. But, everybody that's creating content is just doing things to continuously fund themselves, getting views on a daily basis. And they getting out of character and they losing their integrity and their morals and stuff just so they can stay into the trajectory of the algorithm, the trending situation.
Come on, Johnny. Out of all the motherfuckers you can fuck with, Johnny, what the fuck would make you stop at me, man? Huh? What would make you stop at that bus stop and fuck with me, Johnny? I know what it was. I know exactly what it was. Ain't no secret. You had 8 ball of that shit, Johnny. I figured by now that shit would have wore off, right? Johnny, what the fuck would make you get up and just say, you gonna slap me? Out of all the motherfuckers on planet Earth, Johnny, you gonna slap me? Had to be this shit right here, Johnny. Because it ain't 1917 no more, Johnny. This is 2025. Niggas fight back, Johnny. The fuck make you think you just gonna slap a nigga and then what you just gonna do? You just gonna walk off about your business, Johnny, and just ain't nothing gonna happen, Johnny. No, we gonna have to put on a betting app, Johnny, to over and under for how many fucking days you gonna lay in the hospital. And I'm taking 13 and a half days. I'm taking the fucking over, Johnny. Now let me tell you something, Johnny. I need you to check in the AA, Alcohol Anonymous, and I need you to check the fuck out of AAB. African American business, Johnny. This shit ain't had nothing to do with you. Sit your dumb ass down somewhere. You hear me? Now, Cam said what he said about Jalen. I told Cam he did something you couldn't do in a Super Bowl, and then Cam, big, goofy, extra sensitive ass, started talking personal shit. So you and Cam could both sit y'all super goofy asses down some fucking where. Fucking cocaine Johnny and big fucking sensitive. You big sassy ass nigga, sit your dumb ass down somewhere, nigga. I don't know what the fuck you got going on. But I told you niggas, neither one of y'all could fuck with Jalen. And then you talk about, I'm the biggest loser. You ain't did nothing on the football field, neither did you, Johnny. You was in a fucking league for 2 weeks. They sent you to the fucking Australian Kangaroos. The fuck you, I think you did 2 years with the Lithuanian Bombers or some shit. Fuck is you talking about? You ain't did shit either. Get the fuck out of here, Johnny. Right.
Salute to all the content creators, man, doing y'all thing, man. On her selling yourself short for you to get views and likes, though. But one thing I want to address before I switch to the next topic is that Gillie Da Kid is wrong in that statement because he started the malicious wordplay. Cam Newton damn near could have sued him for what he was talking about. And Gillie could have sued, Johnny Manziel for communicating threats. Because he was communicating threats talking about what he would do. If you get online and you communicate threats about what you're going to do with me or to me, man, I don't even want to tell you what I'm going to do. But I am. I'm going to get the law involved and still put hands on you. For real talk. Because don't communicate threats to people online, man. It's just, you got to think smart. You can't be out here doing dumb shit, communicating threats on the internet. Or just stay off if you can't, conduct yourself in a professional manner. Real talk.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.